let me say a special good morning to Grenada, the mainland, our sister isles of Carriacou, Petit Martinique. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me say good morning also to those of you listening via Classic 105, whether you're on K105.5 or 105.9. Good Monday morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend and you're looking forward towards a productive work week for you. For some reason, someone may have, or there may be individuals out there who may have worked through the entire weekend. So they probably get that day off or two during the course of this week. So maybe today is your day home. You're getting some chores done around the house, some laundry, if that's what's done today. And you're listening to K105. Good morning. Certainly hope you're having a great day thus far, even though you're doing whatever you're doing. Anyway, good morning to you. Let me say good morning to our, of course, social media listeners and viewers this morning, especially those of you via our Facebook page. Good morning. Welcome. Hope you're doing A-OK. Whatever part of the world you are. Good morning to you. If you, and of course, in Grenada, and you've chosen to listen to us via our social media platforms, I want to say good morning to you also. The YouTube channel, the GBN, of course, website. Good morning. Welcome. It's March the 13th. Yes. You know, this date is a significant date in the history of Grenada. I do possess a limited, memory of the date. I was pretty a youngster back when on this particular date, right? Back then. Oh, what should I was? Maybe I was about 5, 6, maybe around there. 5, 6, maybe around that age range. March 13th, 1979. And so I had limited. Being at that age, maybe you cared less about what's happening around in terms of that, or you hear the conversation from your parents and so forth while they were talking. But you being a youngster that around that time, you didn't put the energy into it. I mean, I do have vivid memory of some of the aspects of things that may have taken place around that time, but very, very limited. Very, very, very limited. On the post part of it, I may have some memory of that. So it's an open line edition for To The Point for today, which means I'm going to give you the viewing and listen audience available. But you need to call in, can share your views. You probably have a very vivid memory of what happened on March 13, 1979. You want to speak about maybe the positive aspects of it, of March 13th. Probably there's some negatives about it that you may want to throw out. There's probably a memory of it that stick with you till today. And that you feel, hey, I think it's time that I let that off. You want to speak of, the late Prime Minister Maurice Bishop. You want to speak about, the entire makeup of how the events rolled out. You maybe have some memory of that you may like to share. I will certainly be interested in hearing your views on that this morning in this segment of To The Point. So, folks, the lines are open, 435-2041, 435-2041. Feel free to call me. And I'll be listening to your point of view this morning. Let's go to the phone line and entertain our very first caller this morning. Somehow we lost our very first caller this morning there for some reason or the other. The number once again, 435-2041. And let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT. How are you, sir?
I am doing okay. What about you this morning, sir?
Peaceful and quiet.
Blessings.
And reminiscing on 44 years ago and perhaps listen to the reaction or the behavior or the thinking of the people that experienced that period.
Yeah.
However, it is something that troubles me for quite a while, and it has been troubling me a lot. We as a people, we may know our history, but it seems to me that we don't learn from our history.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what are the lessons we learned up to date for the last 50, 55, 60 years? As you indicated a while ago, you wasn't that quite there, so I wouldn't hold you to your throat. But what I'm looking forward to is the intellectuals and the academias in Grenada come together, or perhaps pool resources, or maybe get into this interactive program and do a postmortem on the period, pre and post period of the Grenada Revolution, and let the younger ones like yourself who coming up would understand what cause and make and the impact of our history. Now, as a little fella growing up, my older heads always say, and I learn it in the neighborhood from the older heads, what you sow is what you reap. As I grew up and I get into, well, education, and perhaps go a little further, it says,
are you with me, Cole?
Have a cause and effect. We must study that. We must study that, GT. It's important that the only way we could understand where we're going. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too, sir. Have a great day yourself. And thanks so much for chiming in this morning and talking about that aspect of it. And I certainly understand where the caller is coming from, you know. I was a youngster, and I've heard a lot of stories of the revolution from individuals who were part of it. I have sat and listened, you know, so it doesn't necessarily mean I have no knowledge of it, period. You know, growing up, I did, you know, had the opportunity to speak to lots of individuals, sat and listened to a lot of individuals who've been part of the revolution and you know, described the part they played and being part of it. So I do have some knowledge, but I'm willing to listen to others who may have some experience in it this morning. Good morning to you, caller. For some reason, I'm not sure why we're losing the caller, but is it they are impatient this morning? Anyway, 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line this morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I drove to Grenville yesterday to, I went to St. David's. Man, that was a good walk on the road. And the last time I passed there was choopsing and grumbling, but...
So some
work done there, although there's much more to go.
Some road work was done in the area, and you were happy for that?
Oh, very much so.
All right, great.
Now, GT, I was never a supporter of the revolution. I'm 65 now. And, I mean, I don't know about revolution. I don't know about this and that. But the way it happened, the morning of it, I was at Montfendu where I had property then. I was neighbor to the Benjamin. When the call came from Mr. Brizan, he was somebody high up in the regiment, they used to call it, and he left. Then he got shot, they killed him. And then his wife, Hillary, in England now, she never recovered up to today. She don't know when it's day, when it's night. Up to today, she's still alive. So I could have never, and I would never. But in the revolution, I see the NIS, I see the airport. This was good things.
Yes.
My brother-in-law was in the house with his wife and children. They came and they took him, and they sent back the body after 2 years. We buried it. And let me tell you, the amount of abuse I know that take place in the revolution, it could have never been well with the people that overthrow and kill, the amount of innocent people that lost their lives. The revolution shoot himself in the foot, but it had to happen. And I hope that the people, and it all happened, GT, because of greed and power. And I hope that the politicians that pass, we see that they have no regard for the old people. They don't care about us. Look at they go there, we put them there, they come out there big billionaires, and we're still in poverty. I'm talking broadly. I hope those that come in there know we have a very good little young prime minister. I don't know him, I've never met him, but I'm looking at him on the TV so far, him trying to make all the wrongs right. But I only hope that the people that is there now realize greed and power hungry, it doesn't pay. GT, these people had, and all the people who live in again, who inherit the revolution, it could never be well with them. GT, have a good one.
Have a good morning yourself. Have a good morning and have a blessed one. And that's one's caller sharing her opinion there. She was never supportive of the revolution. Let's get another caller's point of view this morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
All right. I try not to want to talk about this event on this day because a lot of times you hear infantile interaction, if I should say that. Because it shows that even after 44 years, We haven't even tried to understand, the majority that is, to make sense of what happened. I mean, there is the explanation for everything that happened during the period. But you have to understand, and let me start by saying that it was Maurice Bishop, as quoted by Lloyd Jones in his book of anthology, his anthology of poems, said that Maurice said that reading and studying are constant habits of a conscious people. Let me repeat it again. Reading and studying are constant habits of a conscious people. Can we say that about ourselves? When we even talk about it, we talk about Bible, we talk about Constitution. Yes, up to now, we don't even know a section in the Constitution. I mean, we don't know a verse, 10 verses in the Scripture. We don't know nothing except what we've been told through propaganda and so on. Now, last Saturday, I was privileged, and I say a privilege to be involved in a really deep conversation around the revolution. And there was different contending views and so on. But at least people were able to respect each other. And this is what we need. Everybody have the experience of what unfolded from even before 1979. When I tell people, and it's recorded on the total flight, I was one of those that was beaten up. In 1977, and the activity in on June 19, that the government was being held on that day was in commemoration of the activity the day when I was beaten up, not from me, when Alistair Strong was killed. So they are surprised because I don't promote myself, but there was a basis for what happened. Of course, and I said it last Saturday night, we are still wounded people from colonialism, from slavery. We have trauma, unhealed trauma, and unless we deal with that, even when we try to do good things, those demons in us would come to the fore. We have not learned how to deal with conflict. So even when we're working together, whether as husband and wife or even in a company and so on, we try to dominate each other because we don't understand the forces that are working with us, within us. So we need to really get those things, sorted out. So it would not help us by continuing to regurgitate false accusations, all kind of mischievous statements, which is not helping any of us. And I would end by saying that there was one guy on the call the night, and he was adamant, talking some of the same thing that some people regurgitating there. And in the end, when as the conversation was continue and people hear the various experience as contradictory as it was, there was a sort of peace among all of us that was on that session there. I think this is what we need. And the first call, I think, talk about we need to have intellectuals. I don't just think for intellectuals alone, all of us. And we need an intergenerational conversation because we have robbed the current generation of an opportunity to understand what has happened, because part of the problem is that some people were complicit in organizing with external power to invade us. So if things unfold in a proper way, they will be implicated. We had a so-called Truth and Reconciliation, whatever they call it, up to now. Where is the result of that? What have we learned from it, as the person said? We haven't learned anything except that to back at each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. Appreciate it a whole lot. 435-2041, 435. We go back to the phone line, entertain another caller this morning. Welcome to The Point. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
March 13th is our history. 44 years of the revolution. Mm-hmm. So much has happened. Negatives, positives. But I would like to remember the positives that had happened that has impacted the lives of many Grenadians. Today we speak of the maternity leave law, that mothers can go home and spend 3 months with their babies before going back to work and getting some form of payment or their monies. We have the international airport. That was a project that was undertaken by the PRG. The NIS we can speak of. And I distinctly remember, how our communities used to come out and help each other and work together. I remember coming from people in St. George's to go up to the north to assist with the hand coating in St. Patrick's. And so many more that, we can talk about. There were some people that, for some reason have been hurt. And for this, we just want to apologize and hope that time would heal our pains and our wounds. And, the different people, that the doctors and so that work with, with these people can help them to heal and to move on.
All right.
And let's just have a good day and remember the positives. The doctors that came from Cuba, the dentists that came from Cuba, they were all part of the revolution. Have a great day. I thank you.
You too, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks all those of you who are calling and sharing your views this morning. Let me say good those of you via our Facebook page. Let me say good morning to Ernesto. Good morning to Michael, Erlin, Akim, all you folks. Let me say good morning to you. Thanks for being part of To The Point, especially those of you via the Facebook page this morning. Let me see if I could grab some of the comments before we take our first break. This morning, I get to reflect on the day of March 13th, 1979. This is written there by Ernesto. Always seem to be reading your comments, For some reason, they are always interesting. Anyway, on March 13th, 1979. And it takes me back to how far we came during that period with many progress made in that 3.5 years was very historical. And with the field of the I hope I'm getting that piece of that wording right in terms of with the field of the revolution, or should I say the fold? That's what should have been. That is what is written there. With the fold of the revolution, on the other government that came into power, never make that progress that we witnessed during the revolution, and in my opinion, that was the best time we have seen in the development in Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petit Martinique. Long live the spirit of the revolution, forward ever, backward ever. Never long live the friendship of Cuba and Grenada. And let's see if we could grab another comment there. This one goes out from David. He's saying the Prime Minister Maurice Bishop family was part of the colonial masters in Grenada. And let me see what else. What else should I throw this morning? Let's take a break, and we come back and entertain some more of your phone calls here on To The Point this morning. The open line edition. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins. Yes,
when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Island Stars annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tiles to be had, with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tiles, store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tiles for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, hand tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grandans or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
This is Wesley. Welcome back, listeners and viewers. It's to the point for today, March the 13th. It's Monday, the 13th of March within the year 2023. 44 years. We have to remember what's actually happened on this particular date. Let's go to the phone line and entertain another caller. I guess we lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435-2041. And I just decided I'm going to just open the lines this morning. Listen to those of you who are of course, maybe you've been very active as a youngster back then, and you certainly have lots to share in terms of the memory of what happened back then. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning to you. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings.
Greetings to you also, sir. Good morning.
That all is well with you?
Doing good. Doing pretty well.
A bit on March 13th, 1979. Vividly, that era reflects on my mind up to today. 6 days prior to that day, my second son was born. So you understand how difficult it was for people like me with young children and so on to attend to, had to answer a call of the leadership of the country to get out there to work for Grenada. And we're talking here about working for Grenada, not to work for ourselves, of course. In the process, you were expected that we would work, get paid, because we had to feed our quote-unquote children. But Mr. Telesford, I suffer on this date because I feel betrayed. The 3 and 4.5 years of the revolutionary, quote-unquote, revolutionary period, very good days they were to me because it gave me an opportunity, and I say me, and not that I'm blowing my horn, me and other young men that I was able to convince, and other young men and women and other people, even elderly people, that what had happened there was good for Grenada. And no one in this here world can tell me that it was not good for Grenada. A previous caller mentioned, let me round up a little faster, about the history prior to the revolution. What brought us to that? Nobody wants to talk about that. The previous leadership of the country prior to 1979 unleashed violence on the people, the common man of this country. People were killed, people were beaten. I wonder if anyone of you all remember P-2145 amongst other vehicles. A cream Austin, Cambridge with a black top, with a group of fellas running around with axe handles and 303 rifles and so on, and nobody were able to stand up outside in the road and lime and them kind of thing. You all didn't remember that? And it is crystally clearly written, Mr. Telesford, sir, by John Locke in the 17th century, because John Locke was a man who was influential in the glorious revolution of 1648 in the United Kingdom, in England. He said this: when usurpers abuse the rights of the people, then the road to revolution becomes clear and rebellion becomes the rights of the people. It's not John Rollo that wrote that. It's a man called John Locke, L-O-C-H. And that's what brought the revolution. The regime of Eric Gary was uncouthly vulgar with the people. And of course, Grenadians had to do something. Hats off to the young men and women. I don't think there were very many women, young men who made that move on the 13th of March 1979 to overthrow the criminal regime headed by Eric Gary. That is why the revolution came. Did the revolution do anything for the people of this country? Clearly it's there, but nobody, let's put it this way, very few people wish to recognize that. Some have been mentioned prior. But within 4.5 years in this country, we did things that never before and never again will be seen by any government in this here country. I was done during that 4 years, 1979 to 1983. How sad it was when the revolution failed. That part I don't want to go into. But it was hypocrisy, it was greed. It was lust for power, for the narcissistic nature of some of the leaders. There's some. Because look at what they did. Look at what they did. We're paying for up to today. And you know something? We were invaded after the downfall of the revolution. Democracy was brought, development, great Western values. Brothers and sisters, has the Human Development Index of this here country grown since then? 40? How many? That'll be
44.
Yeah, but it'll be 41 years after demise, isn't it? How much have we advanced? Let's look at what happened back then. The first caller made a very significant point and thing, and the third caller made a very significant. We need to sit and talk honestly about what happened in the revolution. Yes, painful things took place. Yes, there were abuses. But no one can tell me that the steps that were made between 1979 and 1983 was harmful to this country. No one. Long live the date, the 13th of March, 1979, for me and for many others who understood what it meant, what the original leaders of this country meant for the advancement of this country. And additionally, it was the first time the closest we have ever reached in the history of this here country to a total emancipation and the freedom of the people away from colonialism. But there it is today. All those who adulated the revolution, the long live kowtowers to the British Empire they are. Look at them there today, you see. That's why I do believe in certain circumstances that the revolution was doomed to fail. Unfortunately, Mr. Telesford. Unfortunately. But have a nice day with.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution as always. 435-204. Open line edition for today, Monday. It's March the 13th. And let's take another phone call this morning. Let's see who's on. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning. All right, and you?
I'm doing pretty well.
So, the revolution had its advantages and disadvantages. There was one mention, at least we could mention about, is the learning of those illiteracy, educating them. He had a time, well, at least, no one could have two houses, 2 cars, whatever. One. And the area with the children, where they had this dominancy over them, your parents couldn't have the rule over them. But the revolution, that ain't good. And remember, we must always remember God's word. He said it in his word, and it's true. If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. And that eventually happened. Thank you.
Thank you also, caller, for your contribution this morning. Good morning to those of you once again via our social media platform, Facebook. Those of you viewing and listening via our YouTube channel, good morning to you also. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, GT. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you this morning?
I'm all right. GT, the revolution had its good and its bad, like any other institution. But after 44 years, we have one university, and it was established by the revolution. Gary speak about it because Gary saw the needs of the people of this country to be educated. He was not wrong to establish Bishop Combs, and he established a university. Look at, we have doctors, we have dentists, we have engineers in this country that Bishop sent and study to come back in the country. After the revolution, how much people that fit to educate the poor and vulnerable to come doctors and engineers? When these people and them talking about, you know what it is, JT? I wish the people that the revolution hurt so bad could ease up, could release this stress and go on. Please don't die with this bitterness and this hate. We have a lot of hate in our hearts still in this country after 44 years ago. Let us give ourselves a break and think of the good that Bishop did for us in this country. I was 19 years and I dropped out from school young. Just when I see people coming out from school in the night after 9, you wondering if it's a construction work and they're casting so much people coming out, learn to read and write after 44 years ago. Right now, I could still remember some of the books. Education is a right. from 44 years ago. I started from level 1 to level 4, and the program crashed. So there is good things, and anytime a man wants to feed your brain, this man love you. The rest of them, what they do for your poor children, how much of them they send to study after 44 years? We have one university in Grenada. Shame on us, GT. Have a good day.
You have a good day yourself. Good morning to you. Let's see if I could entertain some of the comments via the Facebook page, also the WhatsApp, 435-2041. I will take some phone calls after I go through some of the comments. And we have one comment here via the WhatsApp saying, good morning, Mr. Tullisford. If the abusive conduct created that caused the revolution, the same thing or the worst happened during that period. People lost their lives until now. The total of deaths cannot be told, although the revolution did some good, but I think the negative surpass it. Let's see if I could take another comment here via the WhatsApp this morning. Good morning. The revolution is the best example of brainwashing a people. The people who were jailed for the death of Morris, etc., openly blamed the Cubans for the failure of the revolt at a meeting at Marshall House. GBN, of course, made a documentary of it. I certainly do remember that also. Let's see if we could grab another comment. Someone saying Morris Bishop meant well. Let's go to the Facebook page. So that we just dropped the WhatsApp there for a bit. Go to the Facebook page. And we have David saying, during the revolution in Grenada, more people were putting into prison, and the most people were killed than any other time in Grenada. So that's a comment there from someone by the name of David. And what else could I throw out this morning? Someone is saying, why didn't I have some of the former people of revolution on the program to talk about revolution? It would have been nice if I could have had that, but usually there was a particular segment that we entertain every Monday here, and I guess folks know we do have Mr. Silver McIntyre, but folks, I guess you will understand why he's not here this morning. We all understand the circumstances, what happened last week, so most folks will understand why he's not here this morning. So I have to substitute an open line for this segment this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, GD, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
GD, I'm a little bit disappointed with the last caller. I thought you should have corrected, GD, the last caller. That university was built during the time of Gary. And some people, when they don't have facts, they must not call the radio. That is wrong. Bishop never built any university. One of Bishop's things during that period of time, when he was planning to overthrow Gary, what he was saying, that the university down there, Gary brought in a set of the students was not really students, they were CIA. So I don't know when people do have facts, I don't know why they don't come on the radio station. Thank you, GD.
Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's entertain another caller this morning. We lost that caller there. And let me see if I could quickly entertain another comment here this morning. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, sir. I call to endorse the statement made by the last lady caller. In every system, there is good and bad. And we have to look at if the good overweighs the bad. In fact, Gary has done a lot of good for Grenada because he was the first man that ever fought with the British and so on and so on. Bishop has done some good, but to me, they have raised up the ugly head by doing ugly things, imprisoning people and doing all these sort of things, wounding people and killing people. Kerry did the same thing too with the Mongoose gang. So every one of them have good things. Now, I cannot say this one at present now have done so much bad things, but people are saying that they are doing bad. So in every system, every government that passed in Grenada did good as well as bad. In fact, let me give you an experience. My father during Gary's days had to sleep on a grave to protect his house because they planned to burn it down. In fact, the poor classes of people, I'm poor too, okay, from poor family, they hated the people that had something. So that's one of the reasons why they planned to burn down his house, because he was not a supporter of them. And even the same thing happening even now. If you're not a supporter of this government, people have a tendency to hate you. Even if you support them, they still have the tendency, the other side have the tendency to hate you. So you have good and bad in every one of us. But what we want more good than bad. And this is what we cannot get, because everybody wants a food, and everybody trying to overthrow the other one to get a food, even in your own community. If you're doing well, they hate you. So it's not only organization that hate each other, whether it be political organization or this. People are very selfish, and everybody, or the majority of us, are talking about God. God says to love one another, and so on. Help one another. Even look at the church. The churches during the time when they had the disease, the COVID, churches taking more money from the thing. They say they want the tithes, and they say they love. The doctors taking the same more money. They say they love, and they say they want to preserve lives and save lives. That's how hypocrite we are. In fact, even now, they want to build a hotel in Rivera. Some want to walk, and some don't want. Someone talking about where the animals go live. Preserve the place for the animals. What do you want? Why not preserve the place for the workers so that they could get more money and live nice? This is what we want. We cannot satisfy everybody because everybody wants other things. Even you possibly want to rule the radio station. I ain't by that.
All right, sir. Thank you. Have a good morning. 445-2041. Let me see if I can grab some of the comments via the Facebook page. And we have an individual by the name of Claudette. I'll just go by a first name basis. The Mongoose gang were wicked because they could not, because we could not sleep in our house. They wanted to burn our house in Lafayette. The Mongoose gang killed our cow. So I was glad the revolt took place. And blessings to Cuba. We have PLA chipping in saying the St. George's University is a brainchild of Sir Eric Matthew Gary. And let's entertain another caller before we take a break in this segment. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
How are you today?
Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well.
Yes, well, as far as this revolution and so forth and thing, I think Sir Gary Fry the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Because he fought against the foreign forces. If you check it, follow.
I'm trying to get your drift.
Yeah, because he fought against outside people, like between the British and all the king, and but the other revolution with Bishop and them, we fight against ourselves.
So you're saying there was a revolution with Gary first?
Yeah. Whatever it is, you know that when Barry came here and with the Devonshire, when they took him from Grenada and bring him to a prison in Carriacou.
Mm-hmm.
This is what bring the Sky Red, you know.
All right.
When they took Sir Eric from here and bring him to Carriacou to prison him there, that is when the Sky Red with people, they burn in places and pelting stone, because my grandmother and them wasn't that. And like they said, they had to go down. You know, in those days, people, the husbands go to work and the wife bring the food for them later. That was the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the plan was they had to go down with the nice basket with the basket with the towel cover the lunch. So all the women and so forth, most of them, that is what they did. They cover the basket of stone and go down to town, and when they start to stone down soldiers and stone people and stone who they have to stone, you know?
All right.
And then the burning and all things, they bring back Mr. Eric here immediately from Kirku. That was, they had him on the battle ship called the Devonshire.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. So, but we come and have something that fight among ourselves, but this thing is just generation to generation and different fight, different stories, you understand?
Getting your drift, man.
The School of Medicine, that was built in the 70s by Mr. Gary, that came in here in the 70s, and they started in Granans and Granans Beach opposite the Trade Center there.
Mm-hmm.
That is where it started, and then it moved on to True Blue. Yeah, where Expo 69, because that all these things helped create an avenue for building for Expo 69. And Mr. Gary said exactly what's going on there now. This is something that he mentioned. True Blue should be the next big town, but we want only big buildings to be there. And this is why I am protesting that the two pillars, that big two pillars you're seeing in front of the roundabout before you enter True Blue, that should be taken over and either do a nice nut peg on top of it and a cocoa or whatever, or cocoa of it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the facing the road, you put in gold, some gold, not bronze, right in. Expo 69. That is the main pillar.
You're advocating for some kind of monument there?
Yeah, the same pillar, leave the same two pillars, one on the left and one on the right. I hear people asking to take it down, but that is what I have to do there. And I advise, I said that the students and Grenadian students that studying in School of Medicine should take on that project.
All right. Anyway, caller, I'm due for a break, so I got to take a break, so I got to end the conversation with you. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning.
Right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Folks, we're going to due for a break. Let's take it. We come back with more of your conversation this morning before we take a wrap at the top of the hour. We're coming right back.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
If we, for example, speak of in the field of health, the heat that has been expanding since heating up of the environment. Well, women are responsible for taking care of children and of elderly, sick children, even themselves. And that hot air, especially on women houses where there are no air conditioning and so on, it makes it more difficult for women to function and fulfill their duties all day long.
To bring understanding of the issue so that at the policy level that we build kind of awareness and the work that is being done within schools. So the Ministry of Education, has launched what they call a sensitivity kind of a program so that right across the school system, there's awareness of the issues.
Join us this Wednesday on GBN TV, K105 FM, and GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel at 8:30 p.m. on Our Climate Reality as Mr. Terrence Smith, Dr. Everson Peters, and Dr. Adrian Cashman discuss water and climate change. Our Climate Reality, made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbard's, and Classic Lighting.
CEF is for me and you. Beyond COVID, CEF is for me and you. Caribbean Economic Forum move. Beyond COVID, CEF is for me and you. Caribbean Economic Forum. Log on, tune in, and join the conversations and engage with the experts. Help to find common solutions for common problems during this COVID situation. We fight it to protect our livelihood across the nation. This is for we to learn, share ideas and concerns, to live life like we deserve. We must change we mindset first. Build strong economies, closer societies. We all have a duty. CEF is for me and you. Beyond COVID, CEF is for me and you. Caribbean Economic Forum.
Let me say welcome back, listeners and viewers this morning. It's actually going to be our final segment on To The Point this morning. We go end this program at 10 a.m. Let's entertain a caller via the phone. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing, GT?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you this morning?
Wonderful as ever, man. Just giving thanks and praise all the time. I'll tell you what, today is March 13th, right?
Yes, it is.
And what we experienced in Grenada on March 13th, years and years ago, I think it's 44 years ago, was the revolution. You know what we experienced in Grenada right now? A cultural, a political, and a social revolution in terms of the way things were done, in terms of all the consultation that is happening right now, and the awareness and the intricacies of politics and how things are governed and certain things are taking place. So I think we should just say thanks to God, because I think we headed in the right direction. And what we should do as a people, be more aware, even get and understand and try to learn more as a people and foster new relationships and understand where we are going, understand why things happen, and understand why we are in the position we are now. Have a blessed day.
Thank you also, caller, for your contribution this morning. You know, folks may ask a question, from the revolution, the intervention, getting back to what we call the so-called democracy that we have. Has anything, major difference in this country? Are we seeing that from then to now? Folks may ask that question always. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, could I make my point?
Go right ahead, please.
Okay. A caller called earlier and talk about if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. I would like that caller to come back and tell us how Jesus Christ lived and how he died.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution there. I'm not sure if the caller would like to do that. 435-2041, 435-2041. As we await another caller, let me see if I could go to the Facebook page this morning. Interesting conversations this morning in terms of the comments via the Facebook page. And let's take another one from Heaven Hill this morning. You speak of the Mongoose Gang and what they and what the names of the gang and the existing under the PRG and the Rickett Harvard, the gang that shoot out on a car full of innocent young men in the Plains St. Patrick's, for example. Sate's people are still traumatized by it. Families were destroyed. Parents never, of course, recovered. What are the names of that particular gang that they speak of? As a youth, we have Ernesto now chiming in saying, as a youth during the Gary era to the revolution, I remember the abuse of people of Sate's received from some of the people from Moncton-Rich as Stedsmans, Dalton, Pope, and Noble. So with the revolution, these guys were put into prison, and they were cannot lose track of that. They're in the prison and for their wrongs, I would say. Now, the revolution was one of the best thing that happened for Grenada. Many people was brutalized and killed by the Mongoose Gang. People was missing one account of them, with no account of them. And I remember the guy from Moncton-Rich came to Sate's and didn't find no one in the street and take out the fight on the poor dog that it met in the street. Let's go back to another caller there. I guess we lost that caller. And suddenly lots of folks are giving account of the memory that they have back then. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, caller.
The gentleman want to know what you mean by live by the sword and die by the sword. No, Jesus didn't tell you to take life. And if you decide to order people to take one's life, your own might be taken too. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you there. 435-2041. We're moving up 10 minutes before we say goodbye for today's program. Back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and you're welcome. Good morning. Good morning to you, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling in this morning on the program.
Go right ahead, please. You are live.
And what I find is happening, we have no one who's recording our history. History, you have the past is based on the future, the present, everything. What we need in Grenada now is some of our professionals to start writing Grenada's history. And it goes right back to the British, what happened then you have the slavery, and then you have what is happening now. All things that happened recently with Morris, with Gary, where is it recorded? The present now, what is happening? It is based on what happened under Gary and Morris. And I would like our young people who are studying, all those with their doctorates, some of them are living abroad, they're not even here in Grenada, to get together and write Grenada's history. Thank you.
Thank you also, caller. Thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. And we're taking your calls. An open line edition this morning. It's March the 13th, 44 years, of course, in the history of Grenada pertaining to this particular date and the history of the events, of course, that surrounds it. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, GT, I think we could ask ourselves the question after this program is finished. Are we better off? Are we more enlightened? And that is up to people. It's unfortunate that people with limited knowledge, limited understanding, normally try to dominate conversations. I agree with Miss, the last caller. I know who it is. I agree with her. But I would like us even to start before the British, before the French.
In terms of
there
documenting.
were people here before. And the questions that some people are posing are important. Are we better off after all these years after the revolution have collapsed? And I mean, it's obvious not. We have had period after the invasion where our youth were killing each other. I mean, there were no, revolutions. They were killing each other. I mean, I see a hand in lining the drain in the market one Saturday afternoon out of an incident. We have a number of people walking around with no limbs, with a limb missing. There wasn't revolution for that. So the problem is our understanding in South Africa right now, and if people pay attention, you have a situation where Mandela and others led South Africa to a certain stage. It is obvious right now that there are a lot of discontent, and I want people to pay attention. On the 20th of March, there will be a national surge in South Africa because a new generation of leaders are saying, okay, Mandela did a part, but now we need to go further. The land issue is a problem. We have had so much problem here in terms of, and we haven't dealt with it. We have the issue of colorism, of classism, of religious, the fighting between religions. All of these things affect how we live, how we die. And unless we sit down as a people and ask ourselves, how do we want to do like we normally say tourism is everybody's business, but I never believe it. Tourism is some people's business, and they try to make it our business while we neglect agriculture. All of these factors, we need to sit down and have real conversation. And I would say certain things which people might get offended about, but let me hold it up. But the thing about it that I wish that we could engage in conversation. At the end of our conversation, we could be lifted up by one another, not trying to outdo each other and to how stupid. A lady made a mistake there earlier on, the one who said about the Gary, about the university. To me, it's a genuine mistake. I don't think she was deliberate. I picked it up. And the fact that Gary was the one that went there when the university came in. But I don't think she was being deliberate. And we mustn't, all of us make mistakes.
I also get where she was coming from. She just saying, yes, we have one university, but maybe we could have had more from the time then. I think that's what she was trying to get her direction with. All right. Thank you for your contribution. 435-2041. 6 minutes before we wrap this morning. 6 minutes moving out before 10 o'clock. To the point, the open line edition for today, Monday. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, GT. Sorry to call back, but
no worries, man. Go right ahead.
Explain something there. Okay, I think for the two things in Grenada, I think Gary and the revolution is the two. Let me call them as parties, and the two parties or the two regime that was trying to bring Grenada back to the Grenada culture and the Grenada people. That's how I see it.
All
because
right.
in Sir Eric days, in them times, all the big estate was owned by Grenadians, right? And then they start taking, Sir Gary start taking some of the lands and sharing for the people that don't have what they call land for the landless. Okay, the revolution came and was doing something of the same, taken from even the Grenadians and the other foreign people, and to bring it back to Grenadian under Grenadian manners or Grenadian control. But now it's going the other way around. Those now are taken from the Grenadian culture or Grenadian and bring it back to the foreign forces. We have one. That's one of the main ones. One Eden Point Saline. And they have part of the airport going. Secondly, they're in Manhattan. They're in Woodlands. Now they're in we're in Rivera. If our stadium have to repair, it's them that have to do it, not a Grenadian culture. And then we have the other small ones with this coming at the building, the big hotels. So it's a different. It's going from hand to hand. That's as far as I see it.
All right. Thank you also. Good morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. Roughly 3 minutes before we say goodbye for today's program here on To The Point. Let's see if I could grab a couple of the comments from the Facebook page this morning. And we have Ronnie saying, I consider the revolution as the first 15-0. It was that popular. Let's grab another call. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Yes, Tippy, good morning.
Good morning to you. Go right ahead.
But I had to call the gentleman that wanted to find out about Jesus, how did he die and all sorts of things. He cannot mix Jesus up with all the foolishness of the world. Jesus came, that was Jesus was God manifested in human flesh to die for sinners like him. That is what, so Jesus did not pull a sword because he could have. He had many, but he didn't come for that. He came to save lives, save souls. So Jesus cannot be compared to humans with a sinful behavior. Jesus came to save sinners, and so he had to die. His spirit went to hell and take the authority back from Satan and came back and gave us back our authority, our dominion over sin. But it's only through Jesus we can have that dominion. If we don't have Jesus in our lives, we cannot exercise dominion. So I don't know what is it. If he's reading the Bible, he would not understand. The Bible says that we're not receive or accept the things of the Spirit of God, neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. So if you want to get to know the Word of God, he has to be born again, and the Spirit of God will open his eyes to see the truth of the Scriptures.
Thank you, caller.
So you can't compare Jesus with the foolishness of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 435-2041. We may be able to accommodate another call or two. Let's see if I can grab some comments. Let's go to the WhatsApp this morning, and this person say, good morning, GT. It's amazing how we are vocal about the revolution and seemingly blame Dr. Keith Mitchell for not doing more for Grenada. Many questioners, my question is, how many prime ministers did we have in the last 44 years? And which one wasn't elected democratically? We also have a branch of the University of the West Indies at TMR Shaw College. The St. George's University offer many degrees, so why would we want more? That's one comment there from someone via the WhatsApp this morning. Let's see if I can take another comment there from the Facebook. I think Ferntide March should be a public holiday because it's part of our history where the people fought to overthrow a dictator. Let's grab another caller before we wrap this morning. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm happy to be alive today to express my gratitude for the force that have me alive. Today is 44 years, and I did see the revolution. And then I left to see when it had to change. And, sometimes you ask questions and ask if there is changes. Number one, when things come, nobody never tell you that Grenada always a revolution. The revolution was the first time you see gun. It was gun here. Everything that was takeover was a fight. So in Bishop time wasn't the first revolution. It's because we didn't know about it and nobody taught us about it. Bishop had the opportunity to go in England and study his country. He could have known about the Laganad. We didn't know nothing about the Laganad and Fedo. He knew about it. So he could have taken the trace, and we must be fair. A lot of people call in, but they don't want you to know. They don't want to educate you. You as a stupid person would teach somebody something, and they would never tap you on your back and say, boy, girl, it's thanks to you that opened my eye, you know, already looking stupid. So I warning people, don't get knowledge and keep it for yourself to go and tap and sit on somebody's head. Remember, them teach you and they didn't know they're teaching you.
Thank you, caller.
Thank
you for your contribution also. It's straight up 10 a.m. in the studios here of K105. Also, those of you viewing via GBN TV, I want to thank you for being part of To The Point for today. That's what we come to the end of today's program. All who contributed, whether you sent a message via the WhatsApp, you commented via the comment section of the Facebook page, thank you so much. Those of you who called in, thank you so much for being part of To The Point for today. Join me again for another edition of To The Point. Actually, tomorrow. Join us then. Have a good one, folks. Have yourself a blessed day.